Well, it's a big week for technology companies reporting quarterly results. And I know we often talk about Microsoft and Apple and Alphabet, but in the chip sector, one of the best performing stocks since the start of last year is AMD. Yes, we talk a lot about Nvidia, but Advanced Micro Devices over that period of time has rallied about 170%, thanks to the strength of the business, the AI boom as well. But after such a big rally, what do investors have to consider? And obviously, we'll have more to chew on when the company reports its quarterly results later today. Here to preview what's going on with the business is Stacy Rasgon, a senior analyst covering semiconductors for Bernstein. Stacy, nice to have you with us. First of all, for those who hear everything about Nvidia, but maybe a little bit less about AMD, what do we need to know about the business of AMD?
Yeah, you bet. So AMD makes, they're very similar in their core business to Intel. They do chips for PCs, they do chips for servers, they do embedded chips, and they also make game chips for game consoles. But I'll be honest, like for this print, I'm not sure how much any of that matters. I think all of the attention is going to be on their AI GPU business, where they do compete with Nvidia. But this will be what investors will be looking for.
And so they, how do those chips work into the AI story, if I could ask it that way?
Sure. Yeah, you bet. So to level set for you, clearly anybody who's been looking at Nvidia has seen their prospects for their data center business just explode to the upside, right? I mean, the numbers have gotten really, really big, really quickly. And at this point, like Nvidia has kind of been the sole source for these sorts of parts. These are, they call them GPUs, stands for graphics processing units, so you're not using them for graphics anymore. But these are the kinds of chips that run AI applications, that run things like ChatGPT and generative AI and large language models. So clearly the market would like to have a second source, right? And currently today, the supply for all this stuff is very constrained. Demand is far exceeding supply. And so AMD, to their credit, is probably the most credible second source. They have a roadmap with products on it that look reasonably credible. And they should be growing that business pretty well this year. And I think that is the debate for AMD in the context of what NVIDIA is doing. How much share can AMD take? And how big can that opportunity actually be as they go through this year? And they put out some targets. Last quarter, they said they would do, quote unquote, more than $2 billion in revenue. I think expectations are for them to do far more. And so that will be one of the things we'll be looking for today is like actually, what are they doing? How are they updating those targets? What do they actually think that they can sell this year? And do they meet expectations that I think have been rising markedly over the last several weeks and months?
Stacey, you mentioned that all eyes are on everything that has to do with AI when it comes to today. But since they have all these other businesses, how do you feel about how those are performing if investors are thinking about AMD?
So, it's actually funny. I actually am a little worried about those core businesses. And so I always joke that, like, you probably shouldn't listen to me on AMD stock. Like, I've proven myself wholly incapable, seemingly, of calling this stock. We downgraded it a year ago on the thesis that gross margins and numbers were too high, primarily because of downside in their core business. It was absolutely right. They actually missed numbers every single quarter last year, every quarter. It didn't actually matter, though, because they were able, to their credit, to reach out when this AI narrative presented itself and to grab onto it. We actually haven't really seen that show up in the numbers yet. I think that'll be the question. I actually do worry that their core business is maybe a little overdone. And actually, Intel's results were not incredibly supportive. Intel's client, their PC business was okay. Their data center business missed pretty strongly. And they have an equivalent to AMD's embedded segment. Intel calls it PSG. It was very weak. And so I think that brings potential downside versus what AMD may do that. So I'll be honest, for their core business, I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to miss, just like it's been missing like for the last 4 quarters. I don't know if people will care, though. That'll be the question. Is the AI upside, such as it is, enough to assuage fears of like the rest of the business? Because I think people that are in the name now are not in it for what AMD's PC business is going to do. Right? So this will be the debate, like how does the AI upside potentially like play off against what the rest of the business is doing.
No, that's helpful context. And I guess our caveat in all of this is nobody knows the future with anything. We're just talking about it and trying to figure out the best path forward. But it is interesting when I look at the makeup of analyst coverage of AMD versus Nvidia, it feels different right now. Like, you know, obviously your own 12-month target price for AMD is below where the stock is today, but that's actually generally in line with Wall Street. The stock has sort of surpassed the average expectations, whereas in the case of Nvidia, it looks like people still feel pretty good about the prospects for the stock. I would assume that has to do with the earnings growth potential.
Well, be careful. Be careful. So, if you're looking at, I always say, don't get too hung up on target prices.
Okay.
That's a whole other debate we can have. But the sell side target prices are below where AMD is trading because it's ripped, right? And the target prices don't update as quickly as the stock price does. So that actually shows you expectations for AMD are higher probably than Nvidia. If you look at where the valuations are trading, Nvidia is much cheaper right now than AMD is. AMD is probably the most expensive of all the AI stocks, and what that suggests is that the expectations are higher. With Nvidia, the issue has been that just the numbers for them, and by the we're talking numbers for AMD that I mean, they said more than 2 billion. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if expectations are like more 4, 5, 6, but like for Nvidia, I think the sell side they're probably at 80 billion for data center this year. Like AMD, no matter what they do in the context of the size of this potential market, at least for now, is a rounding error. That's kind of part of the appeal. Like they don't have to do $80 billion. If they could do 6, that would probably be great. But I think that is the debate. Expectations for AMD relative to where they've been, I think, are actually higher in terms of what people think they can do. I'd say there's probably more faith, at least for the Nvidia numbers. I think with Nvidia, the worry is not so much this year. The worry is just that like the numbers have gotten so big so quickly, people just worry about sustainability, and they're worried that is there an air pocket or something like floating out there? And we see these kinds of things, especially when demand is vastly exceeding supply. You don't exactly know what the real level of demand is when supply is so much lower than where they're selling right now. And for Nvidia, I think that's been the worry, and that's why the stock is cheaper than some of the others, is the numbers are just so big, you just sort of look at it and you scratch your head and you say, well, how long can this last for? That's a whole different debate. We could have a whole other discussion on Nvidia at some point if you want, but there's a whole other debate there, I think.
We'd love to have you.